Hare Krishna. Banali Mataji, read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji. Dandavat Pranams Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Generally, the mountainous and hilly portions of the earth are made flat by the striking of thunderbolts. Generally, this is the business of King Indra of the heavenly planets, but King Prithu, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, did not wait for King Indra to break the hills and mountains, but did so himself by using his strong bow. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Shilpa Mataji, you read the sloka and Kripamai Mataji, the translation.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Athasmin Bhagavan Vainyah Prajanam Vrittidah Pita Nivasana Kalpayam Chakre Tatra Tatra Yatharhatah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhuji and Mataji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. To all the citizens of the state, King Prithu was as good as a father. Thus, he was visibly engaged in giving them proper subsistence and proper employment for subsistence. After leveling the surface of the globe, he earmarked different places for residential quarters, inasmuch as they were desirable. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sharmila Mataji, you read the shloka and Kusum Lata Mataji, the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Graman pura pattanani durgani vividani cha goshan brajan sa shibiran akaran keta karvatan. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, the king founded many types of villages, settlements and towns, and built forts, residences for the cowherdsmen, stables for the animals, places for the royal camps, mining places, agricultural towns, and mountain villages. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhu, you read the shloka and I'll read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Prak pratoriha naivaisha puragramadhikalpana yata sukam vasanti sma tatra tatra kuto vayaha. Pranam Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Srimati Shampriya Mataji, you read the translation and I'll read the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Before the reign of King Prithu, there was no planned arrangement for different cities, villages, pasturing grounds, etc. Everything was scattered, and everyone constructed his residential quarters according to his own convenience. However, from the time of King Prithu, plans were made for towns and villages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From this statement, it appears that town and city planning is not new, but has been coming down since the time of King Prithu. In India, we can see regular planning methods evident in very old cities. In Shrimad Bhagavatam, there are many descriptions of such ancient cities. Even 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna's capital, Dwarka, was well planned, and similar other cities, Mathura and Hastinapura, now New Delhi, were also well planned. Thus, the planning of cities and towns is not a modern innovation, but was existing in bygone ages. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 4th canto, 18th chapter of the Shrimad Bhagavatam entitled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I pray to all of you, please bless me so I can do this seva properly. Vancha kalptarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Deen Taranam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwar. Hare Krishna. So this chapter ends over here, titled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet. So today I would like to cover the summary of this chapter, and then it's very uncommon, the content of this chapter. So try to understand some relevance, how we can relate or understand it in our life, and that will bring us to the topic of evolution or devolution. We will see that. Then the birth and history of the universe in very brief, and then devolution to Kali Yuga, and finally talking about the society, varnashram in Kali Yuga, and what is our social dharma. So these are the topics. I would only be touching surface level of each of these. Here we go. Hare Krishna. We will start with the summary of this chapter, which is Prithu Maharaj milks the earth. So the story, as you all are already aware, that Vena, who was a very sinful and undeserving king, he has passed away, but during his time the things were so bad that the sacrifices and religious performances had been stopped, and because of that population had become irreligious, and the rogues had multiplied. So even the regional kings who were supposed to maintain law and order in their places, they were not performing their duties properly. So what happened because of that? That it has a direct impact on how earth flourishes, how bhumi flourishes. So it stopped and withheld the production of grains. So it created famine. So this had double effect, right? Two effects on the population. One, there was a very dangerous situation that the rogues and thieves are attacking them, and on the other side there is famine, and all this came as a result of this demoniac government of Vena, because the leader of the society is always responsible for what happens in the society. Okay, so with that, it became so scarce that they didn't even have seeds left. So grains are required for the next crop to be sown, and that also was not there now. Okay, so how to resume agriculture now? That was the big problem. So they all reach out to Prithu Maharaj, and being compassionate on Prithu Maharaj, he goes to Bhumi Devi, who has taken form of a cow. And so previous chapter was that he was angry with uh, Mother Earth, who has taken the form of a cow, and then he chases her, and then ultimately so that the things can resume. So Prithu Maharaj finally subdues the cow, and she says that okay, I can become the cow and you can milk me, and everything you need, it will come out. You can extract it from me. And Prithu Maharaj is doing it so that the citizens can become religious again, and they can perform their varnashrama duties, and do their karma yoga, so that they gradually advance in spiritual understanding, right? So that way Prithu Maharaj performed the role of a perfect king. Now based on that, now cow suggested that, see, to milk a cow, three things are required. You need a calf. The calf has to be close to the cow, so the compassion from cow will come, and then somebody has to milk, and then there's a pot to store where the milk will come. Okay, so these three things are required. So Prithu Maharaj actually takes Swayambhuva Manu, whom Mother Earth was very compassionate towards, he being the first human being in that sense, right? So he becomes the calf, and earth was very affectionate. So Prithu Maharaj starts milking Mother Earth, and from that grains come, and those grains are withheld in his own hands to give to the suffering citizens. So this is the first description. And then different personalities, as you read through the previous shlokas, they all transformed into calves. There are many, I won't read all of them, but like we discussed, Manu became a calf, Sage Brahaspati became a calf, Indra became a calf, Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Kapila, Maya demon, Lord Shiva in the form of Bhutnath, lion, Garuda, Himalayas of the mountains, they all became calves standing next to Mother Earth in the form of cow. And this milking is happening. And what is coming out? Herbs and medicines are coming out. Grains are coming out. Vedic knowledge is coming out. Somras is coming out. Liquor and poison are coming out. Art of flying is coming out. Musical art and beauty is coming out. Minerals are coming out, and all sorts of things that nourish the living entities, including the mountains, which are living entities, all those are getting nourished by Mother Earth. Okay, so very bewildering in that sense, very difficult to relate to or understand. And so that brings us to the second point, of the relevance of this. Why? Because the text, the content that we are talking over here, it challenges how we are used to seeing this world. Okay, I'll just quickly stop and check. Am I audible? Everything all fine?
Yes, Prabhu. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, perfect.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you for confirming, Mother. So, so this, when we read something like this, it is very difficult to relate because we are not used to seeing this world. And why is it important? It is important because how we see this world, it directly impacts how much faith we will put, how much we will align ourselves with the knowledge and instructions from the Guru, sadhus like Srila Prabhupada, and the Shastras. Like in West, when Srila Prabhupada went and when he gave some of the understandings that come from Vedic text, like, sun is closer, sun is closer to earth than moon, or something like man never landed on moon. There were people who were attracted by the Swami, but we have this tendency to make logical and reasonable sense to the world around us. And because it did not fit their way of how we see the world, they left Swamiji. And even those who accept it, what happens is that our acceptance has limits. And those limits are created because of our doubts or level of convincing only. People who are totally convinced, uninterrupted, unmotivated bhakti is executed by them. They will do that. But we have reservations somewhere. Something stops us, so that's why this point is also it plays a very crucial role on how we see this world. So the point that Bhagavatam is presenting over here and that we can relate to is that we live in a magical world. Okay, no matter how much we try to make logic and reason and reasonable sense of the world around us, we live in a very magical world. Okay, and let me bring many of these points so that we can re-strengthen this idea. First, the world that we see in our modern education, the gross science, tells us that it is heavily driven by laws, right? So laws of which are very scientific, like gravity, no matter where you go, you take up a solid, hard, heavy substance and you release it and it will fall to the ground. And it will fall to the ground no matter where you are, no matter what time of the day it is. That is a very stringent law, and not only on Earth, it will happen on other planets also. All sort of laws you will see. But then in this very same world, there are mystic abilities. Like in Journey Home, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentions that when he was in the Himalayas, one morning he saw one mystic. he took his bath, brushed his teeth or whatever with datun or whatever, and then he just levitated in the air. He floated in the air 2 or 3 feet high, and the other sages around them, for them it was no big deal. And Maharaj is coming from a world where people haven't even heard of this, what to talk of lying about it or cheating or this, that. So Maharaj is writing his first hand evidence, pratyaksh. He's seeing somebody is defying the laws of this universe. We live in a magical world. So then we have this world. It's a world of astrology and Vastu Shastra. In astrology, we are told that based on what time we were born on earth, there are 9 planets out there. According to their positions, our karma, a lot can be told about our karma, our qualities. And for most of the people, the personality and the situations that astrology points to is accurate. So I personally know one family in that they are currently experiencing some financial situations and a very heavy debt, and their astrological chart tells that for the mother and one son that they have rin dosh in their astrology, which is derived out of the position of planets which are hundreds and thousands of kilometers away from here. We live in a magical world. Okay, this world has life, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj brings it out so beautifully that we fail to see this magic of life. Like he would say an example of a banyan tree's seed. It's such a small seed, and you just pour it in the water, in the soil, and you water it, and it turns into this gigantic tree. Isn't that magical? Isn't that amazing? This life is amazing. And he says, soil, if you taste the soil, is there any flavor in that? There's no flavor in the soil. But based on these different seeds, you get a chili plant, you get a sweet fruits bearing plant, and you get vegetables. And this mother earth, just like we are reading about how different types of milk was extracted or different things were extracted from that, it's magical how plants have different types of tastes, which if you eat the dirt, it does not have that, right? We live in a magical world. So it's a world of karma and sacrifices which pay off. In science, it is said that exception only proves the law. If there are exceptions, so there may be exceptions, but in general, you will see some exceptional qualities among those people who are successful in this world. Should it be like that? Does it have to be like that? There is a scientist by the name Richard Feynman. He says that this world, this universe, if you look at it, right, it doesn't have to obey the laws of physics. Like who is pushing this world that, hey, you should follow the laws of physics. Gravitation should work everywhere. But it does, and it does so uniformly. The world, this universe, it obeys the laws of physics. Why? There is no need for it to do that. This topic is very significantly spoken, which is that good things why good things happen to bad people, why bad things happen to good people. Why should it happen? Why are we even expecting that? What is that binding thing where we feel that that universe should work in some way, or the law of karma must work in certain way? So it points to a very magical side to something that we try to see in terms of science. According to science, then there should be nothing called karma, right? Or past life, or there are experiences of people, both the ghosts and the demigods, the subtle living beings, right? So those experiences are there, and there is a whole science behind it. And this is a world of faith and prayers. It is a world of faith and prayers. It is like probably the most unscientific thing that can exist. a world which is driven by gross science, but also has this magical spiritual science that we are studying from so many years, right? This world is an amazing place, actually. It's a real world which has dreams and imaginations, and it is a world of devotion. What it means is that people continue to live their lives driven by karma. Their lives are very intuitive. Their destinations are intuitive. If they are into liquor, gambling, meat eating, their destination is decided, and their propensities and urges are so strong that it cannot change on their own willpower, even if they know it is wrong. But someone can bring change into this entire static life otherwise, static world otherwise. And who is that? That's a pure devotee. A pure devotee has that freedom because of his association. Just because of his association, our life, our fate, and our destinies change. So in this otherwise a static world which is driven by karma and guna, where you can just look at somebody's life, what he has done for last 17 years, you can guess what he is going to do today. Somebody every day morning he gets up 8 a.m., 9 a.m., he's drinking liquor. You can also, we don't need any magical person. You can tell that, okay, what will he do today at 9 a.m.? He will go and he will drink liquor. It is that much intuitive. It's just you do it a little further, you will be able to do complex future predictions also. So so who changes this? A pure devotee changes this. So this brings us to how we see this world. The modern education, it gives us a notion that this world is progressing, but Vedic understanding tells us that this is a digressing world, actually. Like in the last purport, or the last verse, last purport, Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that the cities and this, entire organized way of living existed even from the time of Prithu Maharaj, right? Why he has to present that? Because the contemporary idea is that all this has evolved from monkeys, right? And that's why there's a very established personality who has written, and a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he has written books on this to answer whether we are evolving or we are devolving. And this is very important to establish and strengthen our faith in the words of Vedas. Okay, so there are books, I will tell you. There is Human Devolution, there's Forbidden Archaeology, there's Rethinking Darwin. There are many more, but very specific to the context we are speaking today. These are 3 books written by Michael Cremo, who was initiated by Srila Prabhupada as His Grace Drut Karma Prabhu. Okay, so I would just tell you in couple of lines what these books are. Human Devolution talks about the beginning of the universe, how humanity starts, how it is religious, how it is more advanced, how it understands the goal and purpose of this existence, and then from there that reduces over a period of time and generations, and how human ultimately devolves. Then he has written a book called Forbidden Archaeology. What Forbidden Archaeology tells is that the entire idea of that, earlier they were monkeys, and then they turned into like semi-monkey, semi-human, and then they became human. It is based on some archaeological findings that if you dig the earth deeper, the deeper you go, the older times you are looking at. So they say that if I dig 40 feet, I find a human skull. So I say 40,000 years ago, I'm just giving an example. 40 feet, 40,000 years ago, human existed. Then you go 80 feet, you find monkeys. So you say that, okay, monkeys existed, but the humans did not exist. Okay, so like that, what happens is then you go another 200 feet, and suddenly one more human skull comes, which proves that 200,000 years ago also human existed. So what they do is that somebody is paying millions of dollars for this digging. A scientist is just doing research. He doesn't have money. So the government is giving money. some Western thought, some Western country is giving the money. So they say, boss, if you will go and tell that humans existed 200,000 years ago, then the entire theory that me, the senior scientist, is trying to prove that earlier they were monkeys and now came humans, my theory will be proven wrong. So what do we do? From the master record where this was noted, it is cut down. They remove that record which will prove the theory wrong. And so a book like Forbidden Archaeology actually points out all these hidden truths which were proving the idea of evolution wrong, and they bring it out and they expose these people. And this entire book, Forbidden Archaeology, is full of examples where humanity has lied to itself to prove that we are evolving, even though none of the points prove that we are evolving. Okay. So Rethinking Darwin is also a book on similar lines, where we pick up all the postulates presented by Darwin. I don't know if you know, but whatever Darwin said, that this is the reason I am saying that this is evolution and man came from monkey. Within 8 to 10 years of Darwin presenting this, all the postulates that he had given were proven wrong by scientist community itself. Vedas don't even come before that. Everything that he brought up, right, everything was proven wrong. And I will just give one example out of many. Human came from monkey. There is a idea called theory of irreversible complexity. What it means is that if you take a paper and you take a pencil and a rubber band and then an eraser on the other side, and you make a very simple watch, and you turn it around and then you show it, and then slowly that pencil is turning, and you will say, very nice watch I made, see, very nice clock it looks. It is inaccurate, it is wrong, it just looks like a clock. So this is like a very basic system, like a monkey. From this basic system, you can never make a sophisticated watch which has 2000 moving parts in it. You can never make a complex system, can never come out of a simple system. But if there's a complex system which has 2000 moving parts, you break it and you take out 100 parts from it, and then it becomes a very simple system with just 2 needles in that, right? That is possible. That means from something complex, something simple can come out, but from something simple, something complex can never come out. How will you make a complex watch out of a pencil, rubber, an elastic, and one cardboard? It's not possible. So a complex human being can never come out of a simple monkey. Opposite is possible, that from someone very sophisticated, now a person has turned into a dumb person. That is possible. So these books, they cover this, and it strengthens our faith in the fact that the human society at large is more misdirected than in the previous times. Okay, so that's Michael Kramer, His Grace Drut Karma Prabhu. And with that, what he presents about the universe and what is present in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, I'll briefly come to that. Are you with me so far? All good till now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Haribol.
Prabhu.
Okay. So, birth and history of the universe. It starts from unmanifested energy. Unmanifested energy is mentioned in Vedas in the 2nd and 3rd canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam as Pradhan. That there is this unmanifested primordial substance or material energy which is not having the effect of time on it. When Lord Vishnu sees it, his vision is called Sadashiv or Mahakal, right? He introduces the time factor in this Pradhan, because of which it gets agitated. This agitated Pradhan is called Mahat Tattva. This Mahat Tattva is manifested energy. So unmanifested energy, when simply by looking at it, Lord Vishnu, he introduces the time factor through Lord Shiva. The time factor or his vision is Lord Shiva. Difficult to understand. The unmanifested energy starts manifesting itself. When that manifested energy begins manifesting itself, the differentiations start coming in that, and those differentiations are based on gunas, the three gunas that we know, right? The tamogun, the rajogun, and the sattva, because of which the entire energy starts getting divided into these three types. Everything starts getting divided into these three types, okay? And based on that, the universe starts shaping up. Then Lord Vishnu enters as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So that was Mahavishnu who looked at it. Then Garbhodakshayi Vishnu enters, goes into Garbhodaka ocean, and then from his navel, the lotus grows and Brahma is born. Now comes the time cycle, the yuga cycle. That is the Divya Yuga begins. You know, the progeny begins, the Prajapatis come, the entire history of that is there. And then what happens? At the time of creation, as far as human civilization is concerned, all these yugas, they apply on the human civilization. Okay, so religiosity among the humans is very high. So the four pillars of dharma that you know, tapas, shaucham, daya, satyam, they reduce as the progeny goes further away from that starting point where the Lord started it all. The more you go away from God, the more you go away from the Lord, dharma naturally reduces. But it does not reduce as an effect of time. There is something which is running parallel to the time, and that is the generation. The sexual intercourse which is generating the next generation, those offsprings are born with less religiosity in them. And so by each generation, this reduces. And so the previous generations are evolved, more sophisticated, more closer to God, closer to the reality of existence. And as we go further away down the generations, this reduces in general. That's the general principle which defines what is Satyuga, reduced to Treta Yuga, reduced to Dwapar Yuga, and finally Kali Yuga. And when this dharma or religiosity or the way living entities should live in harmony with each other, that is dharma, right? Living in harmony with each other, when that is reduced to zero, then partial annihilation happens at the end of Kali Yuga, right? So that is the cycle. And specifically right now we are in Kali Yuga. This Kali Yuga is called the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So I have meditated a lot on this hypocrisy, because that is one of the biggest dangers of Kali Yuga. That means I may say I am a devotee, but I may not act like one. It is one of the biggest dangers for me, because of which I care about my self-realization more than what's happening with you in your spiritual life. Okay, otherwise I would just go on and criticize everybody, forgetting that I came to devotion for my self-realization. So the definition of hypocrisy is the practice of claiming to have certain beliefs, virtues, dharma, or feelings, bhav, that one doesn't genuinely possess or act in accordance with. That means there is a bhav. Okay, it's a form of insincerity or pretense, where there's a contradiction between what someone says and what they actually do or believe. This is the biggest danger of Kali Yuga. This results in quarrel and all sorts of shallowness. This is the root of shallowness in anything and everything that a person does in Kali Yuga. This has a direct impact on society, and that's why we are going to talk a little about society. Society, Krishna says, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. That by qualities and gunas, qualities and the activities, I have divided the society. You already know that it's Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmana. These are the four major categories that a society has at any point of time. So we are going to look into this a little bit. Okay. So Shudras, before we get into that, I want to tell you that Mahaprabhu, who was Nimai Pandit, who knew the Shastras in and out, declared that Kalo Shudra Sambhava. That means in Kali Yuga, entire population of human beings are born Shudras. So a question can arise, what is that quality of a Shudra which is found in each and every person who is born? Like, are they violent? No. Are they drinking liquor? No. Something which is common among entire human population that is born in Kali Yuga. And that one quality of Shudras is laziness. Pure tamogun, laziness. That laziness is of, at a broad level, 3 levels. First, physical laziness. Second, intellectual laziness. And third, spiritual laziness. Physical laziness is basically when you are not used to or not very enthusiastic to do tapasya. Okay, to take pains that one needs to take to stay ethical, to stay honest. If you don't cheat, you'll be poor. So yeah, I can't be poor. I cannot do that. Because the tapas tap part is weakened in Kali Yuga, right? Very weak. Second is intellectual laziness. That means the desire and enthusiasm to read books. The bigger book is like, oh my God, I cannot read this. Just tell me what to do, and I can lift, kgs and kgs of potatoes and do some service in the temple kitchen. But book I cannot read. Okay, intellectual laziness, and then overall spiritual laziness of the society where it is not interested in spiritual subjects. So and avoiding sense gratification. So this is Shudras, super lazy. And somebody may decide that I will give up this laziness, and I'm very determined to give up this laziness. What happens when one decides to give up laziness? So this, what happens is defined by guna and karma. In passion and ignorance and selfish determination, very selfish determination, one takes up to business. When a person has no knowledge of spiritual goal of life, but he wants to get out of this laziness, what he does, he figures out that if I put lot of hard work for myself, I can do a very nice business. And that's why a lot of people in today's society, they take up to business the moment they think of determination, strong determination. Okay. And they get into this nourishers of the society. That nourisher of the society nourishes the society whatever way society wants the nourishment. Like if somebody thinks that they can create Instagram reels and Facebook reels, and if the society wants to be nourished by that, then the society will pay to them. Okay, and they will make business out of that. So this is Vaishya category, which nourishes the society whatever way society wants to be nourished. Okay. And they succeed. Whoever are able to nourish the society the way they want, they succeed then. So that's why we have rich liquor tycoons, because society wants liquor. If nobody wanted liquor, then there would not be a business tycoon who has a very big business of liquor, right? So that nourishes the society, the Vaishyas. Then if somebody is in passion, but they have a desire for selfless service to the society, those people, they go towards politics, they go towards administration, governance, or protecting the society, protecting the nation. So determination combined with rajo and tamo, business class. Determination combined with rajogun and some sattva, selfless sattva, right? They go into becoming a kshatriya. And finally, so they are the leaders of the society. Like here we saw Prithu Maharaj is serving the society in this capacity, and he's a very nice king. He's a perfect king, it is being told, right? And then finally, if somebody is in knowledge, who understands the purpose of life, purpose of this world, and they are selfless, they take up to the practice of living a life at Brahma Bhuta platform. A Brahma Bhuta platform is where a Brahman continuously lives a life which is transcendental in nature, right? So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati, neither laments, na kanshati, nor hankers, and sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktya labhate param. So they devote to Krishna in either his impersonal form or his direct personal form as Vaishnavas. So this is the Brahminical section of the society. Their job, their varna, their profession is to guide people towards the spiritual perfection of life. So these are the varnas. So what is varna ashram in Kali Yuga? Well, first, what is varna ashram? So Varna ashram is a society guided by monks. It is a society guided by Brahmanas, where daily lives of men and women throughout the society are driven towards self-realization. They know the goal of life and they follow it. They are nourished by regular food, prasad, kirtan, and Krishna katha. This was the culture, So by evening, everybody is free. All sorts of professions are free, and they used to gather either in palaces or in the villages near a tree. And then there will be Krishna katha and kirtan by the ancestors or the seniors, the vriddha, right? The sadhus. So, like you eat daily, you hear daily. That's it. That was the culture. That is the culture of Varnashram, so that everybody knows the goal of life is self-realization. And this society is protected by pious kings. It is nourished by religious businessmen. And everybody who supports these three, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, they all come in a very big category called Shudras. Okay, if you are a Brahmana, you don't earn money, you do not work for money, basically, which does not exist in today's society. Then you are a Kshatriya or you are a businessman. Anyone outside these three all fall under a very big category of Shudras. Okay, as long as they are connected to this goal of life. If this goal of life is not there, then it's Mlechas and Yavanas and all, So this is only for Varnashram. So they fall under that rest of the society that supports these three, and the society runs. This is broken in Kali Yuga. Because society, as a society, if everybody wakes up in this society and knows that their goal of life is to attain self-realization, then it is a proper varnashram. If it is not, then it is broken, right? So what should we do for the society? Our social dharma in Kali Yuga is that we should try to form these small communities which have this goal, the goal of spiritual perfection. So our dharma is first very, very personal to ourselves. I don't know if I can change the world. I don't know if I can change the society. And even if I had to, it has to start from me. If I am not convinced about it, how would I convince anybody else? So first thing we do is we take shelter of Guru and Krishna. We hear from them. We understand the importance of holy name, and we take shelter of the holy names in a situation where we are living in a society which is very unfavorable to the actual goal of life. So we take shelter of the holy names. To take shelter means that everyone has a happy place, okay, or many of us, I believe, have a happy place, which means that when we are sad, when we are down, or when we are tired, we look for some sort of comfort. That comfort can be in sleeping on a comfortable bed. That comfort can be in chocolates. That comfort can be in shopping. That comfort can be in listening to music. And you give up all that and you try to take that shelter. You try to make that happy place in the holy names who never hurt you, who never trouble you, and into the teachings of Guru and Krishna, right? And how can you strengthen this? By valuing Vaishnava Sangha and by having very loving relationships with Vaishnavas around us, so Vaishnava Seva. So it is said that the culmination of all entire teachings that are given to us through this Vaishnava Sampradaya is that there are three things. There is Nam Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva, and Jeev Daya. These are the three aspects. Nam Ruchi, having interest in the holy names, chanting of the holy names, that includes everything, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, right? Then there is Vaishnav Seva, understanding that the people who have introduced the goal of life to me and those who are trying to align themselves with this, they are my strongest lifeline to move in this direction. So valuing that Vaishnava Sangha and and serving them. When we serve the Vaishnavas, then that love increases, at least in our heart it increases, and then obviously that reciprocation comes from the other side, so that. And then once we have this, once we are nourished and we have a community, a friends, a support system which is holding us together, then we should try to strengthen our devotee community. We should try to strengthen our devotee community. How we can strengthen it? By preaching, spreading and sharing the goal of life with others, connect people to the devotional community, contribute as per our ability, be it monetarily, intellectually, physically, with our devotion to Srila Prabhupada's movement, So one or the other way, we strengthen our devotional community. Because why I bring this up is because only by that it is possible that one day we will reach a point where we have we already have monks, we already have the brahmanas, we will also have kshatriyas in our community, we will have businessmen also in our community, and we are already there anyways. So then we can form what Srila Prabhupada said, like farm communities, right, which are self-sustaining communities. But even today's farm communities, the devotees themselves, they try to rise up to being a brahmana or a kshatriya, but we do not have the quality and skills by which we can create this small self-sustaining society, So how it can happen? It can happen if we continue to strengthen ourselves. So okay, maybe it will take 100 years, but at least we can get there. So that's why it is said that in Mahabharata, there was a fight of dharma against adharma, dharma and adharma. This was the same between Ram and Ravana. The same ways, the fight between dharma and adharma never stops. It is even today, it's going on. And no matter how weak we are, and no matter how broken the society is, we as devotees, we do not stop fighting for dharma. And fighting does not mean just punching. Fighting means struggling to for dharma, right? So with whatever ability I have, I will align, at least first I will align myself with dharma. It could be mundane religiosity, it can be mundane ethics and morality, and then above all this, even transcendental morality, So and ethics, and understanding the importance of spiritual principles, So that fight, no matter how weak I am, I will stand on the side of dharma. That conviction, with that we can contribute to making our community stronger. So that is my takeaway from this, that what should we do by looking at the previous systems, how it was. Okay, we are probably devolving or evolving, whatever. But right now I understand my goal of life, and I would try to strengthen my devotee community in whatever way I can. So that's all I have. I'll stop here. Today we saw the summary of the chapter, Prithu Maharaj milks the earth planet. Then we try to understand the relevance, how we see this magical world. Then we this brought us to the topic of whether we are evolving or we are devolving as a society. Economic development is what is the goal of current life, actually, current society. Economic development, and this economic development gives a false idea that we are progressing, but we are going very poor in arts, in philosophy, in spirituality. These areas are not evolving. Economic development alone is evolving at the with the power of technology, but because the people are getting degraded morally and ethically, that's why the other arts are not evolving as they were there earlier, in the earlier times. So that, then we saw this how this devolution happens from birth and history of the universe, and how things have devolved in Kali Yuga. And then we saw Varna and then Varna Ashram, which is a society with a goal, a spiritual goal, and then Varna Ashram in Kali Yuga, and then finally what should be our social dharma. So I would stop here. This is all I had for presenting, and if you have any comments or questions, be very happy to hear the comments. Questions, I'll try.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. And devotees, anybody has any reflections, comments, questions, please do ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
1 second, Prabhuji.
Okay, sure.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
so your homework, I am astonishing the homework you have done. How much time you have taken to display all these things. So I am grateful to you. That is the grace of Supreme Lord only. I am grateful to you. Prabhuji, in addition to that,
Yes.
in existing world, in existing universe, existing in Kali Yuga, so your kind self has shown a new Kali Yuga to visualize and where we have to be what is our destiny and process. Everything is explained in this particular class. Really, Prabhuji, by hearing in 1 hour, it is not possible for us, for me particularly, to visualize all these things. So thing is, Prabhuji, you please make your own convenient time to analyze all these things in any other time or place or in any other forum also. If you give that opportunity to all, definitely in being a Krishna consciousness and by hearing classes, by chanting all those things, but by seeing this, what is society is going on. So to what extent you are suffering, and then everything will be analyzed to us, and it will teach us. It will show the new path. Definitely, we will survive until we get out from this miseries of Kali Yuga also. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I have no voice to talk again beyond this. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And I'll certainly try to do what you have asked me to, Prabhuji, in whatever limited capacity I can.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Any other devotees?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. My humble obeisances also, Prabhuji. First of all, I'm very grateful for having such a classes from you, Prabhuji. I always look forward for your classes. Wherein I get so much of practical implications which can be done to improve my present bhakti or whatever sadhana I'm doing. I always feel, Prabhuji, whatever we put in our efforts, like chanting 16 rounds and doing all that as per told by our acharyas, even then we feel that something is lacking in our bhakti. So this class has really helped me, Prabhuji. I don't know. Definitely it would have helped everybody, Prabhuji. And first of all, I'm very, very thankful to you. And yes, Prabhuji, no more words, Hare Krishna. Especially that laziness, what you said, those three. So if we take little care about those small things, what we always, because Prabhupada has instructed so much to read his books, but still we show that laziness. That is the greatest mistake that I have been doing. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for showing, helping us with this knowledge. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
I would just like to add one liner, Mataji. Satisfaction on the path of Adhyatma or in general comes from selflessness. So Srila Prabhupada is the only personality from whom I've heard this term sense gratification, and Prabhupada asks us to not engage in sense gratification, and it is a very technical term for something very simple, that is selfishness. And the main reason for dissatisfaction is that subtle selfishness that comes wherever we go. It comes with us. Whatever we do, it comes with us. Whatever we speak, whatever actions we take, it comes with us. And to avoid sense gratification, even the definition of Krishna consciousness is, in that sense, is doing things for Krishna. A very important part of that is not doing it for ourselves, and which is in other ways indirect way of saying being selfless. When a person lives a selfless life, there is tremendous amount of satisfaction in his life, his or her life. That is one point I wanted to make.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, I do agree, Prabhuji. But this is very difficult to get rid of that selfishness, Prabhuji. Though we cook for Krishna, it is somehow, it is for our sense gratification. Whatever we like, we are cooking on a daily basis. So I don't know how long it takes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So let us, I need your blessings also, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, I can understand what you said. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. When a person, every aspect of a person's life becomes selfless, then that person becomes a saint. It's that rare. By saying that, I'm telling you, it's very rare. But yeah, that's the thing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Prabhu, now I'll take
Excellent
my
class,
turn.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Excellent class, Prabhuji. Don't know
Hare
where to start
Krishna.
and where to end. We'll have to go through the video again to absorb all that you have said. Thanks,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, whenever you come, it is always like we are spellbound. Have we understood, or we have where all and how much more it is there to everything that we've already learned? Like creation, when you explained how Mahatattva got agitated. I mean, the entire process that you explained, we've heard this so many times, Prabhuji, but whenever you come, there are so many, at least if I talk about myself, there are so many sparks in my brain. I get that gets, again, it comes, oh, okay, I am learning something new. And Prabhuji, as Prabhuji also said rightly, that it's never enough 1.5 hours to be such a profound lecture that you've given us today, Prabhu. It's such an eye-opener, but it's not enough, Prabhu. So again, I would also request you that if you could spend more time and take a class separately on this, Prabhu, basis your availability.
At least once a week, even no harm, Prabhuji, but for an hour. Doesn't matter, it'll really help us.
Yes,
to boost
Prabhu,
our
because
spiritual
the way
life.
you convey it, no, you bring it down to our level, because we are all in that level that, very something, you simplify it so well that one feels that, okay, I should do. So we at least think ourselves to, it is okay, let me do this. I don't know whether we are qualified also or not to think like that, but at least you make it possible for us.
Yeah, Prabhuji, very motivating class. Prabhuji is a very motivating class, Prabhuji.
Yes,
it gives us the boost.
Thank you for very kind comments, Mataji. And it's only because of the prayers and blessings of devotees like you that I'm able to do something. I would be very happy to serve the Vaishnavas whatever way and format I can. That's what I can say, Mataji. I'm also learning, but I'm really...
Lot of hard work, Prabhu. You've put every time you come, your class brings in something different, which we already know, but a different angle to it.
Yeah.
And your hard work is seen, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your assistance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Can we end the class, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pancha Chakrupa Sindhu Patitana Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Takoti Vaishnavaki Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai
Prabhu, thank you so much.
Srimad Karandama
Pranam to all devotees.
Bhagavatam ki
Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Prabhu, I'll end the class.
Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you very much,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna
Hare
to all
Krishna.
devotees.